Same here, bro. Believe me. My girl actually works at the hospital, so she's always getting tested, and I'm like, yeah, as long as you're good, I'm good, man.
Yeah.
I said, I have to do it every day.
Yeah, dude, I have to test every single day.
Really?
Yeah, every single day.
I think we are on. Let's see.
Let's turn this back a little bit.
Should be about streaming right now.
Okay.
Hello everybody, sPidA here, TheFightCardPodcast, coming to you once again from downtown San Antonio. Actually have a guest today, man, another local here from San Antonio, man, Richie Hernandez, bro. How are you, man?
Hey, good. Thanks for having me, man.
No, but by all means, bro, and even earlier when I saw you, dude, it's been years since I've ran into you, man, and one of the things about San Antonio as a city, it's been growing. So it's harder and harder to even run into people, dude. Like, do you run into people on a regular, man? Like, as far as people you train with, or you know?
I run into one guy specifically all the time. Other than that, that's all I'm running into.
You see, and that's my thing, bro. Because just like 2 weeks ago, I ran into somebody, and I was just like, and the fact that they recognized me in public kind of scares me.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, it's just I ran into them, and they were like, "Hey, man, what's up, sPidA?" And I was like, "Oh, damn, dude," and it's rare, man. Like, a few weeks back, I was at Big Lots, man. I mean, I contract with him, and I ran into Franco Lasso, the referee.
Yeah.
See him, and he's like, "sPidA, what's up?" And I was like, "Man, you making the calls out here or what, bro?" Like, it's just kind of odd for me. I mean, to see people outside their zone, man, because you know we know each other from the sports and everything else. Man, there's a lot that I wanted to ask you, man. And the first thing, and because I actually went through some of your photos, and I've known you for years, you know, with the BJJ and of course mixed martial arts, wrestling, bro. You grew up a wrestling fan.
I grew up a WWF fan.
And do you still watch the sport? The entertainment, should I say?
Man, I haven't watched wrestling since probably like 2015, 2016.
Oh man!
But like I stopped for a long time, so I watched it as I was a kid growing up with my dad, and it was like the coolest thing. My dad and my mom would take me all the time to whenever I would come to San Antonio.
Yeah, bro.
And then I stopped once. Maybe I got into middle school, high school. I stopped, and then it got good again. Like they started getting kind of cool again, and then I watched it, and then I think maybe when CM Punk left is when I stopped.
Oh, okay.
I was a big CM Punk fan. Yeah.
Were you a fan of the guy when he went to MMA?
I wanted him to win.
No, for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, it was given a golden opportunity. But yeah, I mean, I liked the dude. I thought he was super cool. His wrestling style was cool. But once he left the WWE, I was like,
you're like, that's it. I'm done. Go with him. And the reason I asked, bro, is because I mean, being in San Antonio, man. Of course, personally, I mean, I'm older than you, but I mean, like early '80s. I mean, we grew up with boxing. I mean, of course, football. You know, soccer. You know, it was real big. But wrestling was one of them, man. And I actually, my pops, you know, he used to do a lot of. He worked for a floor finishing company, so he was able to do work for a lot of people, and a lot of them were wrestlers, man. And I got to meet the old timers like Scott Casey, Wahoo McDaniel, and we go to their house like in Bernie and like who knows where. You know, for me it was like on the other side of the world.
Yeah,
because we were driving for a good while. But because of that, we used to get tickets, and I mean, I loved it. Entertainment, you know. Of course, back then it was a lot more cuts than there are now. But I mean, I grew up a wrestling fan, man. And for some reason, even now, I mean, I'll still watch it. I'll go home on Fridays and I'll put it on and watch it. NXT, you know, I'll catch whatever I can. But I mean, as a kid, man, I mean, growing up, was that something that kind of drew you to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or grappling? I mean, because of that, or
so I grew up. You know, wrestling was huge. You know, watching wrestling and just being. I was a fairly rough kid growing up. But my dad actually grew me up watching MMA. So like the old shoot boxing, everything there back, like seriously, like UFC 1 and UFC. Like my dad was buying all those pay-per-views, and he would have me like I would literally sit on his lap and watch those. So I think UFC 1 I was 4 years old, something like that. So I remember like my cousins would come over, we'd watch it, and it was like kind of this crazy thing that we'd watch. And then so I grew up watching that. I'm a big boxing fan as well. Watched a lot of boxing growing up. My dad was a big Costa Zoo fan, old-time boxer. So
and did he used to train as well? Or
no, just in the streets, bro.
Oh, okay, yeah. Back then, like I told people, man. I mean, for me growing up, our neighbors next door, man, they used to fight roosters. They'd fight their dogs. They used to fight each other, bro. Like I mean, we grew up, and for us, it was a norm. You know, we get up in the morning and they're out there fighting in the front yard, and we're kind of just watching it, you know, because But yeah, man. I mean, growing up around stuff like that. I mean, of course, people would probably get traumatized now. You know, the way things are. But it's just for us, it was the regular, man. I mean, we'd go out there and it was just like I'd be like, Mom, neighbors are fighting again, and she would just tell us to come in. But we wouldn't. We'd be out there, bro.
Yeah,
We'd be out there watching, being nosy. But yeah, man, because of grappling. Later on, of course, I didn't find myself. You mentioned UFC 1. For me, it was, I'd have to wait 3-4 months to go to Pop and Go and go rent a video, right? But that's kind of like my first taste, I guess, in MMA was when I actually did that, man. I walked across, and back then they were more towards like the Triple X videos and stuff. Sure, so I was always embarrassed to go over there, but I was like, man, I want to go see. And it was raw, dude. Like you mentioned the Brazilian fights, IVC, World Vale-Tudo. These guys getting cut up, and you're thinking, damn, like they're doing this for real, man. Like it's an actual freaking bare knuckle. But I was hooked, man. Yeah, I saw it, and I was like, damn, like I want to learn how to fight. I used to box like in middle school into high school. Nothing good. It was just we lived down the street from San Fernando gym at one time.
Oh yeah.
So it was just like on the way home, I'd stop by, and they'd be like, go hit the bag.
Yeah,
that's all I did, man. That was my coaching for a few weeks, few months. But because of that, it drew me in, man. And of course, the UFC, but it is now. Dana White's been freaking hustling it, dude, and he's making it what it is. Of course, without the fighters, he wouldn't be there, and vice versa. Of course, they got to pay their dues and make it to the big show. But one of the things about you, man. When you first started training, because how old were you when you first started training? Let me ask you that.
Yeah, so I did. I was 18 when I first started doing jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did my first class under Maha at the Brook Hollow School.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And Rodrigo was there already. But then it was baseball season during high school, and I was ready. So I was still playing sports.
Right.
So I didn't go back. I think I did it maybe on a Christmas break once or something. And then when I came back, Maha wasn't at that school. It was Rodrigo's school.
Yeah, I remember that location, man.
Yeah, that's just how it started. Yeah.
Damn. And so you've been with Rodrigo this whole time?
Yeah. I've been with him since I was his very first morning student.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, so I've been with him 13 and a half years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, since he opened, man. I was his first student, yep.
Yeah, well, that's good. Because I know recently you received your black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, man. This was last year?
I just got my black belt. Yeah, I actually just got it.
Okay, because I remember when, maybe it was this year.
Yeah, it was this year.
Oh, shoot, man. Yeah, I remember when I saw it, I was like thinking, cool, man. Like, that's...
Yeah, no, I grinded that one out, so it took me a while. But yeah, I got my black belt in December, yeah.
Yeah, and you see, and the one thing that I don't like telling people you got, because obviously you earned it, man. Yeah, those Legos, just like many out there, they don't just give them out. You definitely got to put your grind and show up,
Yeah.
So that's awesome, dude. Rodrigo, man, I haven't seen the guy. The last time I saw him was at the Fury fight. Of course, he was coaching. But I used to go out there a lot, man, and I miss traveling. Like I mentioned earlier, man, San Antonio's grown so much, bro. Like, what used to take me an hour, now it's like two weeks. It's just crazy, bro.
Yeah, traffic's insane, man.
And what part of town did you grow up in, man?
So I grew up not too far. I grew up like the central part of the city, so right by Nimitz Middle School. I don't know if you're that area. So I grew up there until I was about 15, and then my parents we moved up north San Antonio from there. But yeah, that's where I grew up, man. So all my friends and everyone's still.
Don't bring me up for moving, man.
Still neighborhood.
No. I actually I drive by there a lot because, like I said, I do contract deliveries and yeah, man. Just like with everything in San Antonio, man. Apartments that I was delivering to maybe 5-6 years ago, man, and I go by there now and I'm thinking, damn, like it's bad that people don't take care of their whereabouts, but it's just a lot of places have gone south, dude.
Yeah, it was we started having a lot of issues, man, like car break-ins all the time. People walking the streets, and I was like, man, so my parents did everything they could, and they got us out of the.
No, for sure, man.
There's crime everywhere, but it was getting close to home.
Yeah. And you see, and that's the thing. I grew up on the west side. I went back to the west side. I know at one point, I lived, mid 90s, probably by Ingram area. Then I moved out there to Dozen Oaks, and but. I came back home, my thing now, man, in my neighborhood, honestly, man, it's just that everybody's a homeowner, and that's kind of the thing we were looking for. It was just like, I didn't want to go somewhere where, people are renting, and just because, the experience.
So I tell my wife, man, that's who's next to you all the time, man.
Yeah, exactly, man, and the thing with our neighbors, it's a cul-de-sac, and everybody looks out for each other, man. We all got cameras, but for the most part, you know, we have each other's numbers and we'll call like, hey man, somebody's, you know, stop by or whatever the case may be, you know. Right. But the fact that there's a communication, I'm all for it, man.
Yeah.
Now, as far as your training, man, I mean, you started training at 18, decided to go back. What was it that drew you back?
It was something that I wanted to do, man. So I was, I said, I was a big MMA fan, right, growing up, and then BJ Penn was like, he's still, that's like my all-time favorite fighter. I think he'd smash everyone in his prime even now. That's what I think, but I'm just biased, right? So, but I always told myself that I was going to go back because I wanted to get a black belt like BJ Penn. Yeah. And jiu-jitsu is something that he did, and he did it super fast.
Of course, he got it in 4 years, right? Or 3 years?
3.5 years, yeah. So, but yeah, man, so just keeping up with MMA, I was like, man, I need to get back in there. And then it was like something to get in shape. I had nothing else to do after high school other than go to school and figure it out. So I was like, man, I'm gonna do jiu-jitsu, and yeah, man, that's what brought me back there, yeah.
And of course, I mean, you ventured into mixed martial arts, so you actually competed as an amateur, right?
Yeah, twice.
And what was your record?
1-1.
Oh, okay. And what promotion did you fight with?
ABG Promotions, back with Javier Galindo back in the day, yeah. So I fought, it was back then, that was like 2009, 2010, it was still kind of crazy, like, MMA, so it was like, my first fight was supposed to be at 25, I ended up fighting at like 138, and I was like 131, like it was like a last
minute. Red, or like, man,
I was little, I was a young kid, and then the second fight was at 125, and we were good, but yeah, the guy was huge.
No, for sure, man. Yeah. And one of the things too, because one of the guys that helps me is actually Aaron Suarez. Yeah, the guy, he used to fight for Tama. You know, and
he's had like a mohawk, right?
Yeah,
he's old school here.
Yeah, bro. You see, and like with him, like we talk, and he's all like, I told him, I said, man, you used to sign your contracts, and he's like, dude, we didn't sign shit. No, he showed up and. You know, let's go, man. I mean, get your gloves, get your mouthpiece, and
sell as many tickets as you can.
Exactly, of course. And that's still going on, man. That's still the thing. Yeah. You know, but I mean, it's changed. I mean, a lot of it for the best, man. Because of course, you know, safety and the state's involved now, so it's just getting your medical and everything, man.
Yeah.
Now, as far as your training, man, because obviously, I mean, you were still training in jiu-jitsu during that time.
Yeah.
Now, what was it that made you want to try MMA?
Just being a. So I was getting to a point I was a blue belt when I first started fighting.
Okay.
And I was winning tournaments and doing it. I was like, okay, well, like, what's going to be next, right? And then at the time, like, jiu-jitsu was big, obviously, right? But it wasn't like the way it is now. Like, jiu-jitsu's like, people get paid just to do jiu-jitsu now. They get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars.
What were those days?
Yeah, so it was like, what am I going to do now? I was like, well, I've always wanted to kind of fight. I wanted to kind of see what it was like. And I started kickboxing, started doing Muay Thai as well, and I started picking that up, started doing fairly well there. And then I was pretty confident in my ground, right? Like, and then I was like, let's give it a shot. And I'll admit it was way too early to fight. I wasn't ready yet, but we threw ourselves in there and we did it.
And it was an amateur circuit too, right?
What's that?
It was an amateur?
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's kind of the thing. I mean, because even now, I know here that they have a young guy. He's like 18 now. He just turned 18, and I was talking to him the other day, and he was like, yeah, I'm 18 years old, and I was thinking, damn, dude, like, how old were you when you fought?
19 or 20, and it was, dude, like, back then, I don't know if it's just me or if you see it too, but doesn't it feel like everyone just goes pro now? Like, there's no, like...
No, I guess...
There was a bigger push back then, right? Like...
No, for sure, man, because one of the things that I remember back then, and maybe even before you started even competing, man, was that a lot of gyms, man, like, if you didn't have your blue belt, you couldn't fight. You had to at least get your blue belt. Yeah. And now it's like you just start training in MMA, and 6 months later you go give it a try, and it's kind of like, wow, it's wild, dude.
Yeah.
I'll say this though, man, because of course, I mean, even when you were competing, I mean, I know even during that time there was people that are coming from wrestling and at least had a good base, grappling foundation. So of course, getting into MMA was kind of like, hey, well, I'll take them down and ground them pound. Yeah. But now it's like we're getting a lot more athletes. We're getting a lot more people that already have a strong base, and then they just kind of add something and keep going, But yeah, man. But I mean, 18, 19, man. I'm like, dude, I'm still, I'm in my mid-40s, bro. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with my life, man. It's just
it's a crazy time, man. I think back and I was like, man, I don't even know who that kid was. Like, yeah.
And what did your parents think, man, when you told them you were gonna fight?
So my dad was supportive, and he was just like, man, if you think you can win, do it, And my mom was obviously like really nervous.
Yeah,
they didn't even really know, like, it all happened so fast, right? Like those, you sign up to fight back in the day. They call you or you email, and it's like, hey, you're fighting in October, and it's August 30th or, you know, whatever. It passes so fast. So I think it just took everyone by a storm that it happened so fast. And I was like, oh, shoot, like, my son's about to fight. And it was just, they were super nervous.
Were your parents there at the fight?
Yeah, my parents were there at both fights. And, it was just, they're always super high-strung when it was...
No, I can imagine, man. Especially, I mean, you know, as parents, because we're parents now, you know yourself, man. You have a beautiful family, man. And of course, the last thing you want to do is see them get injured or see them...
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, your kids see those? Like, do they see the videos and photos?
Yeah, so my kids, they know that I've done, like, they see my ears and they know about, like, my neck and stuff. And they know that I've done stuff in the past, and they know that, like, because I still train, like, every single day now, and so they know what I'm doing. But my 7-year-old realized, she's like, hey, Daddy, like, why aren't you on TV with these guys? Because, like, a lot of the guys fighting, man, like, they're old training, like, because I trained at Jackson's a lot, you know, and those are, like, my old training partners. She's like, how do you know them? I'm like, well, babe, like, Dad used to do this. And she's like, oh, wow, why aren't you on TV, Dad? I'm like, well, sweetheart, I got to take care of you now.
Yeah, because I got to be here. Yeah. No, but I mean, and it's... when that happened for you, man, I mean, because of course there was an incident, and I'll get into that more.
Yeah.
But was family kind of like, I mean, of course, you know, we gotta, you know, support our family, support, you know, pay bills and everything else. But did that kind of, like, when you started transitioning into being a family man, I mean, did it take away from your training?
Yeah, man. So my life changed, and you said, well, we'll get into it. My life changed the day I got injured.
Right.
And from there, man, it was like, oh shoot, I'm 21, and I'm out a year and a half. I have no income. What am I gonna do? It was like that. It was from snap of a finger. It was just overnight, man. My life changed. Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, you had your kid. You didn't have kids.
I didn't have kids, man. So I actually had just met my wife, like 3 or 4 days before that injury.
Seriously?
Yeah, I just met her. Yeah, through Facebook. Back in the day, no Tinder, it was Facebook.
There you go. No, you see, man, and I mean, and obviously, I mean, she stuck around.
She stuck around, man. Yeah, and I love her for it. Yeah, I couldn't get through without her. So.
And I mean, okay, well, let's jump into that injury, man. Because obviously, you were training, and it did happen during training. Yeah.
So I had just gotten my purple belt. So it happened in 2011, December 2011. So I was supposed to fight February something, like February 6th or something like that. And it was already like Christmas break at the gym, so it was just open mats. And I was gonna fight pro. Like, it was my first pro fight coming up.
Oh man!
And I think it was gonna be not Fury. What was Fury before? Legacy, maybe?
Well, Legacy was here.
It was Legacy, right? Yeah, it was Legacy. So, man, I was training just typical things, and let's take a step back. So when I was like 19, my very first year in jiu-jitsu, my neck started giving out, like pretty consistently, where it was like, oh shoot, my neck hurts, and I felt like I had a crick in my neck the whole time.
Yeah. So
I was battling that all the way up till I was 21, and the day of my very first fight, I was the first fight on the card because I was the smallest guy. I didn't even warm up. I cricked my neck that week, and one of my coaches was literally massaging my neck before I went out to fight. That's how bad it was, and it was like 6 ibuprofen before I trained, 6 when I got home after Muay Thai, and it was like sleep on a couch. It was like really, really bad.
Wow.
And so then I was training. I was experiencing those issues. I shot a real low single. We were wearing gi, just a straight like lapel trip, nothing crazy at all. The guy sprawled a little bit, and my neck kind of like crunched under him, and I stood up. I was like, oh man, I was like, tap, hold on. And I was walking, and then my body just completely gave out, and I just went unconscious on it.
Man, and, I mean, what was it? What was the outcome, man? What happened?
So my C3, 4, and 5 completely shattered at that point, and I got rushed right into surgery that next morning. Got titanium discs and everything.
No kidding.
into my neck, man. Yeah, and it was a crazy. And I'll tell all the young guys that listen to this now, like, man, take care of your body, because it could have all been prevented.
Yeah, and listen to your body.
Yeah, listen to your body, man. It was different back in the day, man. That was 10 plus years ago. It's like, I should have taken a lot of time off, and I didn't, and I just kept going, and ibuprofen and Tiger Balm would get me through every workout, man. And it's like, guys, like, listen to your body, because that's life altering, and what could happen if, you know, it was probably a minor injury that just got exacerbated all the way super big, you know. So
you see, and even back, I'll say this, because back then, I mean, we have that Superman mentality where it's just like, man, I'll walk it off, or I'll, you know, train through it. But yeah, man, I mean, you definitely got to take care of yourself, because I mean, for you, it did take you out for a year and a half.
So yeah, man. So it took me out. It was bad, man. Like, and I don't want to like keep stressing that it was bad, but it was like, you know, I couldn't get out of bed really. It was pretty rough. my neck didn't feel. My neck just started feeling normal, seriously, like May of 2020 or 2021.
Damn.
That's how long it took me to recover, where I actually felt confident to do stuff again.
And I was going to ask you, I mean, how far was it before you started training again? Huh?
Yeah, so I was in the gym 2 weeks after that, and I was just kind of watching. I had like this huge old neck brace on me,
bro.
And I didn't have the halo like was it Vinny Paz? But yeah, I had the neck brace on. I was watching that, and then I would do little techniques about 4 or 5 months in, but it was so much scar tissue and so much trauma to my traps that I couldn't hold a lapel. I couldn't do any kind of no-gi because it would just be on fire. So probably I would say about 18 to 20 months after that, I started slowly rolling again. Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
You see, and I'll say this, man, because even I mean, I saw photos, and I mean, they operated to the front, right? I mean,
yeah, right here to the front, man. Just a little incision, maybe about 6 to 8 inches in the front. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
You see, and I mean, even now, man, because you know, I joke around and I tell people like, oh man, I'll sneeze wrong and my neck hurts, or I'll throw my shoulder around. But I mean, something that simple can alter.
Dude, you're 100% right. I mean, look at DC. Remember, he like I forgot who he fought last, but he like sneezed and blew his back out. Yeah. Dude, the other day I was changing my thermostat in my house, and I told my boxing coach, I was like, dude, I reached up to turn the air off, and my back gave out for like a day.
Really? Yes. Man, you see, and it's crazy, man, because even now, like, I mean, I deliver furniture, and I'm you know, I take sofas upstairs by myself, bro. Like, I'm still, I shouldn't be doing it because I'll go home and I'm like, damn, dude, I shouldn't have done that, you know?
Yeah,
it's just, it's work and it keeps me busy, and, you know, I'm stubborn, but, little things, bro. Like the other day I had a lady and she was like, oh, can you help me move my sofa over? So I was like, yeah. So I put my knee and I pushed it and my knee popped, like loud, bro. Like she heard it and I'm like, and she's like, what was that? And I said, oh, nothing. And I'm walking to the car and I'm thinking, shit, dude, my knee's like freaking burning, bro. It hurts. And I'm like, damn, dude, like seriously, bro. Like it's just, but I mean, when you least expect it, man. Yeah. I mean, and what are you doing now, man? I mean, as far as your neck, I mean, you still doing therapy, or is that all?
No, so man, so I'm back to training full time. I've been careful with COVID, right? The pandemic. I've been real careful with that, but I train with Rod about 2 to 3 days a week, just with him, just me and him. We just get together and roll, and it's horrendous, but yeah, we roll together. And then I've been lifting and doing cardio every 5 days a week with my strength and conditioning coach again. And then I'm boxing 3 days a week, and I'm also back with my Muay Thai coach as well. So, wow. Yeah, we've been for about 6 months now. This is about the best shape I've been in probably about 10 years, where I'm like, I can go hard. Like I went to MMA the other day, and we did like 10 rounds and did fairly well. So yeah, we're fully back, man. We're back training.
You want me to call it legacy back, man?
Yeah.
Hey, we're ready, bro. It's been a few years, but
gotta ask the wife. Yeah.
You probably want to.
Yeah, we're kicking it around a little bit. We're seeing what's going on.
No, man. Well, you know what? Obviously, man, because there was a guest that I hear. I mean, this guy Junior, man. He used to actually fight out of Powerhouse back in the day, and he had a freak accident at work where he was electrocuted, hit him on top of the head, went out his leg, man, and I had asked him, and I said, man, if it wasn't for you training, you think you would have survived? And he says, no, man, because I mean, you guys are in good shape. You know, obviously you're taking care of yourself. I mean, do you feel like because you were training and doing everything you could that it helped you in recovering? Yeah,
I think that, man, and then I think the support that I had too was probably the biggest thing, man. Like there's a core group of guys at Rodrigo's that we have. There's about 10 of us that have been there since day one, and we're all black belts now. And
I saw that photo that he had posted a while back, and I'm thinking, damn, he's got a lot of black belts under him too.
Yeah, so we got, I think, 22. We got 32 total, and I think we have maybe like 20 that are under us specifically. Right. But there's a core group of guys there, like Ryan Larson. You know Ryan Larson. Yeah. Buddy Andy, Ray. There's a core group of guys, man, that have just been. They're all my best men in my wedding, and they really helped, because it was also a really dark time, man. Like I got super depressed, and it was like, what am I gonna do?
No, but, man, I can only imagine, bro. I mean, the fact that you have to rely on other people now, and it's just like, I mean, you feel like a burden. Yeah, I mean,
dude, it was my brother was giving me baths. It was my little brother. Yeah, it was just without that support, man. And then being young, I think, because that would have been really bad if I was this age. I think.
No, yeah, you see, and that's another thing too, man. Because I mean, like. The fact that you're training with people that are looking out for your best interests, I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, even if you're not injured, man, I mean, there's people in the gym that are hurting people. I mean, of course, you don't want that kind of...
Yeah, you don't want that in there, really.
Yeah, because, I mean, everybody's there to get better, not to get taken out, man. But, But I mean, the guys that you have out there, of course, I mean, they roll with you safely, and they just their technique and all.
Yeah. So now it's kind of, I mean, when I was recovering, it was like everyone knew, like it was pretty, because I think, I mean, there was some fighters in the gym, but I was like the young guy. Like everyone was much older. Yeah. So I was like the young guy coming up, and like you were there taping and doing stuff.
Oh yeah.
So everyone was really cool about making sure that they didn't touch my neck. And it actually helped me get, like, I haven't gotten choked in a long time. I'm not saying I'm that good, but it's because like I've done everything to defend my neck.
Yeah.
Where like, dude, I don't even let my kids jump on my neck. Like my neck is completely covered all the time because that's my sacred spot. Like don't touch my neck.
You see, man, and I have this thing, man, and it's funny that you say that because back when I was grappling and I was training, I started out with Mike Rangel. Like, oh wow, I hate people fucking with my feet, dude.
Yeah.
Like I have this thing where it's even now like. My kids and I'm like, hey, like, and because of that, like when I was training, like my ankle lock defense was really good, and it wasn't because I was like it's just I don't know something, man, but it's just I mean, like you say, now it's your neck, you're kind of more.
Oh, I'm super aware, man. Like I'm very very aware of what's going on, and it's just But everyone's cool, man. Everyone knows what's going on, and I'm like, hey, everyone too, man. Still this day, I'll be careful with your neck. Right before we slap, I was like, hey, dude, like just go, like. Yeah. Just go. I'm good. I promise. Thank you. Like, let's go, and then they're fine. Yeah.
No. That's good. They're looking out though.
Yeah, man. It's a good. It's all love at Rodrigo's, man. It's good.
No, for sure. You see, and Rodrigo. I mean, when he landed here in San Antonio, man. I mean, of course, Maha. A lot of these guys started coming in after him, but he brought a lot of technique and a lot of more for San Antonio, man. Because when you look at it now, and there's a lot of good gyms out there.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
I mean, every gym, Rodrigo's gym, of course, BTT, all these guys, they got like 10, 12 black belts now, man, and everybody's moving up in rank.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's good to see you guys like that, man, because, I mean, like I told you earlier, it's just hard because, like myself, I mean, once I got my purple, it was kind of like I kind of just got away from it. I mean, life hit me, and I just went the other way, and that's just something that I'm like, well, I haven't found the love for it yet. I wish I could just say, you know what, let's put a gi on and go roll.
Yeah.
But it's just, I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe one of these days, But even then, I will say this, but a lot of it, it's I would hate to get injured right now. It's just, I mean, I would hate to put myself in this because I'm thinking, I used to, I can take this, and then it's just like I mentioned earlier, I throw on my knee just trying to push something. It's just But training would have to be smart. It's just
you got to be comfortable with who you're training with and. That's the thing about Rod, man. Like he's so there's I love that he changed my life, right? So I owe that dude everything that I have in regards to like the relationships I have with all the guys at the gym. Like Rod is the backbone, obviously, of everything, and he's so he's there for you like more than anybody I've ever been around, right? So like he's been grinding. He has like 4 schools. He's at every single training at his main headquarters every day from 6 a.m. till 9 o'clock at night. He doesn't miss, man. Wow. He teaches every single class, and 5 days a week, and then Saturdays he comes in and does the kids class, and he rolls with everybody. Like he's just in that everyone sees that grind that he has, and it just makes everyone like wanna. No one wants to let him down, right? And that's just it's awesome, man. He's the best.
And I've seen the guy. I mean, the guy's everywhere, bro. I mean, I do see that. I mean,
every tournament.
He's coaching or he's, I mean, doing something, and that's pretty cool, man. Because you don't find that everywhere. But the fact that you have somebody like that in your gym, and it's like I said, it's motivational.
Motivation. Text you, man. Happy New Year. Love you guys. Be careful tonight. Text you if you haven't been to the gym or you haven't talked. He checks on you. Make sure that you're good. Like
He's that guy.
He's that guy, dude.
Sweet,
he's that guy, man. Yeah.
Well, I mean, props to him, man. I mean, definitely. I mean, it's just something like that. It's going to influence us to do the same. Look out for other people. I mean, I know. Just recently, man, we had an incident where it's still going on here, man. I mean, where the little girl got kidnapped.
It's unfortunate.
They're still looking for this kid, man, and it's been like 2 weeks plus, dude, and it doesn't look good, man. But it's just things like that. I always tell people, like when I'm out and about, because I am driving around all over the city. I park somewhere and I see a lady going in her car. I look out for her, man. Like I'm literally like, okay, well, you know what? Because you never know. It could be your mom, your sister, or something. It's somebody's relative, right? But it's something that we have to do as people.
Sure.
I mean, here in San Antonio, I mean, definitely look out for each other. Look out for our kids. Make sure they make it home and clean their room.
do their chores.
There you go. But yeah, man. But I mean, as far as father life, man, how's everything going? That life,
yeah, man. It's the best thing, man. I have a 7-year-old, Sophia, and a 5-year-old Juliet. So they keep my wife and I very, very busy, very
active. Yeah. And I'll say this, man, because I too have 2 girls, and I'm not gonna lie, like when they were little, man, I used to do the hair. I used to get them dressed, and I loved it because as a man, you're kind of like, you grew up thinking, I gotta be macho, gotta be. But man, I used to love all that stuff. Man. I used to, when they got older, of course, they were like, hey, don't touch my hair. Right. But I mean, when they were little, it's like, man, you know what? And every once in a while, like my youngest, even now, like, I mean, I'll tell her like, hey, let me brush your hair, and she's like, Dad, like. But it's just, I mean, something that we want to hold on to. I'll say this right now, bro, because I always tell people, man. I mean, for daughters out there, we're getting older. I mean, as far as men. But, do a favor, man, and you can go up to your dad and have him open something for you, man. Something so simple, but it wakes him up, and it's just like, what, it feels good to be needed.
Right,
you know? And, I mean, my kids keep calling me for money, so I don't need them like that, but, but it's something like, they'll text me, and they're like, hey, Dad, how's everything, my oldest, dude, I love her, I mean, I love them both, man.
You have an 18-year-old, right?
18, that's 18, my youngest, and then my oldest, 21, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, bro, like, I was just like, man, where were you when I was, buy me something to drink, I'll just go home. No, and the thing about it is they don't drink, she doesn't drink. Yeah. So I'm like, sweet, man, like, she's been working out, and proud of her, man. I mean, it's like, that's one awesome. Of the things I had asked her a while back was just like, man, how come y'all don't call me, and they're like, Dad, well, you wanted us to be responsible adults, I mean, we're doing it, and I'm like, well, that's cool, but you can at least still call me and be like, but they do, man, they text me, she'll always text me like, take care of yourself, drink water, and I'm like, who does that, bro? Like,
yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, I love it, man, and it's just, I mean, after that text, that's when I get the, hey, can you send me some money, Dad?
They check on you,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But it's, I mean, it's a good thing, man. Like I said, I mean, we look out for them. What are they in? Are they in sports right now, your kids?
So my 7-year-old is big into tennis right now. It's something that I've never done. She's huge into tennis. She loves it. She does that right now. Well, their school's closed because of COVID. They shut down. But during the week, I think she does it 3 days a week after school. My 5-year-old is not into anything. She's into makeup and dancing and she's
being on the phone.
They have iPads and they like to game and do all kinds of stuff. The 5-year-old still, we're trying to figure it out. The 7-year-old likes tennis. She does guitar, singing, all that stuff. But the 5-year-old's like.
Now, where does that come from, man? I mean, as far as like.
So my wife, the tennis probably comes from me because I grew up playing baseball. She likes baseball. She likes swinging the bat. So she swings a tennis racket like a baseball bat. She smacks the ball. Then the singing and guitar comes from my wife. She's musically talented, and then her family they're like huge musicians on her side.
Wow, so, man, that's cool. That's a little combo, man.
Yeah. So it's cool, man. It's very unique the way she is, and she's a good mixture of both of us. And my 5-year-old's probably a lot like how I am, stubborn, and she'll figure something out later.
No, you see, and that's I'm in the same boat, man. Like my oldest, she was the athlete. I mean, she played like throughout high school, man. She actually played soccer. I mean, she started playing volleyball. She didn't like it. She tried basketball. She didn't like it. Soccer, she was like, Dad, I want to do this, and she stayed with it. She actually ended up getting a scholarship for college, man, after high school. She only went 2 semesters, man, and she didn't want to go back. When COVID hit, she was more like me. She's hands-on. Like, you need to literally like push this, do this, and the whole online thing didn't work for her, man. And
it's tough.
And it's unfortunate, man, because I mean, she's still a bright kid, man. And I mean, when she was little, she used to draw. She used to like. I was real big on crafts. I would buy sketch papers, notebooks, and she was real big on. She used to do like her own little like blueprints. Yeah. And she used to blow my mind, bro, because she'd be there working on it, and she's like, "Hey, Dad, look, the store," and she would do like the measurements and the door, and I mean, crazy. And I'm just thinking, like, man, where's this coming from? Right. And her mom used to read to her a lot when she was little, man. So I mean, I know she picked up because she loved to read, man. Like I used to hate taking her to the store to get books because she'd finish them like quick, and she'd be like, "Oh, Dad, I'm done," and I'm like, "We just want the book, man. Like, read it backwards, or something." Yeah. But she was a fast reader, man. Like I used to, and she'll bring this up every time. And she's like, "Dad, you used to get mad at me when I would read," and it wasn't that it's just I didn't know she was a fast reader. Like she would literally get the books, bro. Her eyes
would be moving.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, read the book, and she's, you know, and I look back and I'm thinking, man, what a jerk, right? But I didn't know.
Yeah.
But she.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man, and she picked up on it, and you know, that's why I was just like, man, you know what? I mean, she's doing good. You know, she's still she's working now. I mean, she's trying to figure out what to do as far as what she wants to do later on in life. So I'm like, sweet, man. My youngest, my twin, bro, and I'm like, you know, I mean, she's a lot more hands-on. Yeah, she's stubborn, like you said, man. I mean, I know she's gonna make it because she's so much like me, and I'm just like, you know what? Sure. I try to keep telling them, like, you know what, try this or do this. And one of the things with her is she's like, Dad, I need to experience this. I need to learn. And I say, you know what? I said, look, when you get my age, you always tell yourself, like, man, if I had a time machine, I said, I'm your time machine. I just came back from the future, and I'm telling you, like, this is what you need, you know. I mean, definitely enjoy life and try it and learn from your mistakes, you know. But I mean, you know, look for this or look for that, and you know, they don't listen, bro. I mean, they do, but it's just, you know, they definitely got to experience life and you know, venture into whatever's going to feed them, right?
Yeah, we're trying to hold on to them being little still on our side, and I know that my day is going to come where I'm like you, you know.
Yes, bro. It's you know, and I'll say this because they go through that stage just like with everybody else. Like my oldest, when she was in sports, like I was supporting them, man. I'd go out there, show up, and she'd be like, hey, Dad, and she would walk away with her friends, and I'm like, cool, man. And I'd go outside, and she'd be like, she'd yell over me, and so she was embarrassed, you know, and I don't blame her, man. You know, I tell you, it's just after a while that wore out, and it got to the point to where I would go pick her up after practice. Yeah. And across the field, Dad, hey, Dad, you know, my dad, and everybody's like, hey, Dad, and I would get embarrassed, bro. Like I'd be like, oh crap, like, you know, let's get out of here, man. Like, you know, I'm real quiet when it comes to life, dude. I mean, I'm real private. Yeah. You know, I don't like being around people, man. I mean, unfortunately, it's kind of odd because of what I do. Yeah, you know, it's just, you know, but it's the times like that, I would get embarrassed, man. Like literally, like she'd be like, "Hey, everybody, this is my dad," and everybody's like, "Hey," you know, the girls like, "Hey, Dad," and I'm thinking like, man, I don't too much attention, man. I'm like, right. But my youngest like me, man. Like she don't. Her thing is like, I'm like, hey, you know, you need anything? No, I'm good. But you don't want this? No, I'm good. And I'm like, man, you know, but that's my word, and I can't get mad because that's me. Mm-hmm. But every time she does that, I'm just like, man, you know. But I mean, I think good, man. I think so. You know, they're both doing well, and looking forward to what, you know, future holds, man.
Good, man. Good.
Now, as far as family life, man, I mean, of course, what side of town are you living in right now?
So I live on the north side. So I live just a little bit north of Stone Oak, right outside the city limits, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I live up north. That's right, man. We bought a house there in September of this year, or last year rather, and we've been there, man. So
you see, I mean, compared to, because like you say, you grew up, you know, on the north side. I mean, what was back then the north side of town, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, I mean, do you guys? And let me ask you this, because you know, some people. I mean, do you guys come to the city a lot, like for festivals and stuff like that?
Yeah. So I personally work. This area where you're at. This is my area. I'm always downtown. I'm on the south side. That's where I work. As a family, we come down like, you know, I have family still in Castle Hills, and then my mom's side still on the south side. So the girls see a little bit, but I mean, we go to like to the zoo and all that stuff. Right. Yeah, we're hanging out down there, but we're not really going to too much stuff right now, just with COVID.
No, yeah, of course, man.
We venture out. Yeah.
No, and the only reason I ask, man, is because I mean, there's people even now that I run into, and I tell them about like Woodlawn Lake. You know, and they've never seen it. Yeah. And they grew up here in San Antonio, and I'm like, dude, you've never been to Woodlawn Lake? Like, it's just little hidden gems that, you know, right. I mean, for us, I mean, we talked about being the north side. For us, going to Woodlawn when we were kids, that was the north side, bro. Like, that was like, we were like, oh, man, we just went to Woodlawn Lake, and, you know, growing up, it's like I could ride my bike over there now. You know, right. It's like, it's that close, right. You know, but it's just one of those things, man, because, I mean, you know, as kids, I mean, your dad, what kind of work was he in?
So my dad has been doing pest control for 25 years now, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was actually, as I was training and working through when I was younger, I was working for him part-time doing pest control as well.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. But yeah, he's been doing that, and back when I was like younger, he was like working at Sears, and he was doing construction at UTSA as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's always been grinding as well.
And I was going to ask, because, I mean, as kids, I mean, of course, my dad come the weekend, they're like, hey, you're going to work. So he would take us with him, and I loved it, man, because we got to see, I mean, like, big houses, bro. Like, I mean, we grew up on the west side, and we weren't poor by any means, but we weren't rich, you know. It's there was 10 of us with mom and dad, so we were a big family, bro. And one of the things I grew up is appreciating everything, just because everything we had was hand-me-downs, you know. It's like, I told people, it wasn't until my older siblings moved out of the house that I was able to get my own room, you know, literally, bro, because it was just, you know, that's how we grew up. But because of that, it's like, my kids are like, Dad, when are you gonna get rid of that shirt? You know, it's already. And I'm like, man, I hold on to that thing for dear life, bro. Like, I'm just like, hey, leave my clothes alone.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned my dad would take us to work too, and he would do, I mean, houses in Stone Oak when it was barely coming up, so they were like these huge. Man, we never seen anything like it, and we wait outside, and same boat as you. Like, wow, this is so far, you know. Now the city's like just doesn't. It runs into each other.
No, it's like San Antonio grew up to everything.
In 35, it's like your shirts in Austin are almost like one city now with everything coming through. So
for sure, man. I mean, because obviously, you haven't been. You see, you're working from home right now.
Yeah, I work out in the field and work from home for the most part. Yeah, office out of home at least. Yeah.
You see, and my thing is that I tell people, because I drive around like literally all over the city, man. Like, if it wasn't for me doing what I do, man, I would not know how big San Antonio's getting, man. Like, I'm going to subdivisions and I'm like, damn, like it was nothing but trees last week, and now it's just, you know, all these houses popping up, everybody moving over here, man. I mean, San Antonio is getting up there, man, when it comes to population. I know Austin, just the other day I was watching, I think somebody I posted, Facebook is moving to Austin. They actually bought like a like they're moving everything from California. Everybody's leaving, and I mean it's gonna get to where, like, I think somebody had said, like, man, my taxes are gonna go up, you know, and I'm like, damn, dude, like I don't want to live in Austin, you know. It's always been expensive compared to, but I mean, San Antonio, man, I mean, it's getting bigger, man. I mean, what would you like to see, you know, come to San Antonio, man?
Yeah, so we there was a short time where my wife and I lived in Corpus Christi with our kids. When I relocated for work, and that was cool. It was real quiet, but they had a little like local food and all that stuff. Yeah. And seen that grow more throughout the city, because you have a lot like in Southtown. You have a lot like near the Pearl area, which is near that.
Right.
But you don't have a lot of like mom and pop stuff moving up north into the city, right? Like, it's all going to be in one specific area. Yeah. So I think we would look for something like that, and healthier food options too, man. Like, that's something big that like my wife has a food allergy. Really severe food allergy. So I took her to Denver for her birthday in November, and it's all healthy food over there, but it doesn't taste healthy. Like, it tastes like normal food, but it was all healthy, and like she ate super clean, but she ate what she wanted, and she didn't get sick once. Like, over here, man, like, there's so many hidden things in the food.
Yeah.
She gets sick seriously like every other day from what we eat. So I think for us personally, it'd be like finding like healthier food options.
No, I mean, of course, man. Especially what is it, like something specific that she's there?
So she has a few things like fructose is really big for her, but she has seriously probably like 6 or 7 other food allergies that she has.
Wow,
so
man.
It just flares up, and she gets sick, man. Like, she can't eat a lot of stuff, so we have to be real careful on what we choose. So her dream is like bring Colorado or bring Denver locally to San Antonio without having to move over there.
Yeah.
So that she can eat. You know, and that's kind of...
And I'm pretty sure it's going to have to happen.
It's going to have to happen.
I mean,
we have so many people moving from Austin and California over here. Like, they're going to start opening stuff up, you know?
No, of course. You see, and that's one of the things, I mean, you know, people are like, oh, everybody's moving here, but because of moves like that, man, I mean, even in the sport, man, I can see coaches coming over here. I can see fighters coming over here.
Yeah.
I mean, San Antonio's always been military city USA, man, and because of that, we have a lot of fighters that have families here.
Yeah.
Dwayne Ludwig, he was to you guys for a while.
Yeah, he comes down here every now and then and works with Pete.
Yeah. You see, and I mean, I know his wife, her family's here, so he comes out here, man, and it's like things like that I mean, with California, everything going on, I mean, I can see that happening, man, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think that would be cool, and then bring whatever attractions are. I mean, there's a lot of we like these cool like art museums that we went to and stuff like that. Like just newer stuff, man. I think that'd be really cool, because like with the kids, I mean, we got like the Riverwalk we could take them to, the parks and all that. It's like, okay, well, what else can we take them to do? Six Flags?
No, you see, no, exactly, man, because that's true. I mean, you want to do something that's a little bit more homely, more you know, but
more local, right?
Yeah. Instead, you know, SeaWorld, of course, we've done it plenty of times. Fiesta Texas, we've done it.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point to where you're like, damn, you gotta wait big old line to get in, parking and all that other hassle.
But we feel like the Whitty Museum, like we did the season passes to the Whitty, you can only do that so much. The museum, but I think that like the local stuff is gonna be more. It seems more designed for like people our age, right? Like nightlife. So I think more stuff for the kids would be super cool.
No, you see, my thing at my age, bro, like I always tell people, man, about 8 o'clock, I gotta be home by 8. That's my man. Like I hate being out. The fact that Fury FC starts their fights early, I'm good with that, because I get to go home early and put on my TV and relax, man. But I mean, do you guys still go out? Do you guys stay out?
So my wife and I try to go on a date at least once or twice a month. We leave the kids with my parents. Okay. But I mean, we do the movies quite a bit, like with the kiddos and all that, and we'll do like the museums and whatnot. But my wife and I, we enjoy just getting away from the kids sometimes too. Like we'll go to the mall and walk around the mall and hang out.
You're like, they're forget.
Go eat dinner and then we're gonna make a date night. We're gonna stay out. We're gonna try to stay out till 11 o'clock at night.
9:30.
Yeah, dude. We start dinner at 6, and then we find ourselves at Target shopping for the kids at 8:30.
You see, and that's the reason I asked, bro. Because even for me, I can't see during the day as it is, but at night I'm blind. Even I'm even more blind. Man. Yeah. But it's just, I can't see myself being out too late. And I always tell people, even my kids, because I'm like, if you need something, tell me while the sun's out. I say, because if you call me at 8 o'clock, I say, good luck, man. Like, call Uber. But it's just, I really do hate going out afterwards, man. It's just, maybe, I don't know if it has to do with me getting older or just,
It's wild too, man. There's all kinds of people, fights all over the place now.
Oh yeah,
everything. I try not to My brother always tries to get me to go watch fights at different places, and I'm
the sports bars and all this stuff.
Yeah, it's not really my cup of tea.
You see, and I get invited everywhere, and everybody's like, man, we're gonna watch the fight here. And I'm like, dude, I'll watch it on my phone, bro. I'm at home, I'm good.
Right.
But it's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's just what I do. One of the things, even now, I try, when my kids were little, I mean, we used to, like you said, the Whitty Museum, take them to the zoo. I mean, my kids were the type, I think, I don't want to say I ruined them, but I think they got older too quick, man, because we would go places and they're like, Dad, you really want to pay that much just to go over there, or you want to, and they kind of started dissecting a lot of stuff that because I was like that, and I was like, man, and my youngest used to hate going places, bro. I'd be like, you know what, I'd pick them up and I'm like, what do y'all want to do? Oh, let's go home. And I'm like, well, let's go do one thing. Yeah. Let's go do one thing, and then later on we'll go home. Get something to eat, stay out for a little bit. And I try so hard to get them to do it because I hate going places by myself. Sure. I mean, it's not really, you can go somewhere and people are going to look at you and be like, man, what's this guy doing here? It's just kind of awkward. But so I always wanted to get them to go somewhere. We used to go to fairs when they were little. We used to go to New Braunfels. We go to Hondo, just pop up and show up, And when they got older, it stopped, and I was like, man, and so it's one of those things. And even now, I'll be like, hey, let's go over here. Nah, damn, go home. I worked 8 hours. I'm gonna go home, and I'm like, hey, you're sounding like me now. It's just it's crazy, man. But I mean, for you guys, I mean, of course, your kids are still young.
Yeah.
As far as the sport, man, I mean, did any interest in them training?
So they're very girly girl, man. So they don't like sweating. If they go outside, they play on the playground. It's they start sweating. They're they don't want anything to do with it. But we do just being a dad to 2 girls, man. I'm very I don't want to say paranoid, but I'm very aware of all these creeps out there. So we do little things, man. Just basic Gracie self-defense stuff that Rod teaches us. How to get away from if someone grabs your hand, how to turn your wrist away, all that stuff. So we're doing that stuff, and I think eventually my youngest will get into it. I think so, at least for self-defense. But I think my youngest she's going to be the bruiser that is going to join. So
she's going to be out there fighting for Invicta.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, she'll be in there.
And as a parent, I mean, if she were to go that route, man, I mean, how would you feel about that, man?
I think that's I think I'd be I'd definitely be supportive.
Right.
I think I would help her just train smart, because I think a lot of this is, as long as you train smart, you can make it through the sport fairly easy. So I think we'd be supportive. We got to check with Mama. I don't know if Mama, that's something.
I was going to say, how would the wife feel about that?
I don't know if that's something she would want, but
she'd be like, baby, you're going to sweat. You don't want to do it.
You're going to sweat. Yeah.
Try to talk her out of it.
We'll see. Yeah, if she can do a cool hairstyle, maybe we can convince her to fight. I don't know, but Yeah, so right now, man, they have zero interest.
No, you see, and that's good, man. I mean, of course, whatever they choose in life, be supported, man.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, I mean, my oldest, I mean, when they came to soccer, she loved it, man. She lived it. She was training. Mija, she's like 5 foot nothing.
Sure.
And she was a goalie. And man, she hustled, bro. Like, I mean, the first time I saw her play, I was just like, damn, like, I could tell she loved it,
Yeah.
And I mean, she would feel, when they were scoring her, she would feel it, and she'd get all, sad and whatnot. But one of the things I told her, because I used to like soccer. I followed it. I never played it. I was always, I tell people I was always the kid that they would pick last. You're my side.
Sure.
You're my team. But for her at that point, man, like, I mean, I used to go to the park and we kick the ball, and she'd be like, try to make it, and then I go and try to score in her, and just to train with her, just to kind of spend some quality time with them. And even then, like when she'll text me, she'd be like, Dad, we should go. I miss doing this. Let's go over here. And I'm like, man, let's go, man. Like, I'm game. I'm my own boss, bro. I'll freaking call in, spend time with them. But
right.
It's just as we get older, man. I mean, of course, like you said, we want to hold on to whatever we can, right?
Yeah, that's the stage that we're in, and I'm seeing my kids grow. Like, everyone says it, like, man, cherish the times when we're little. I'm like, yeah, that's true, man, because like they're getting so big so fast, and that's our world right now. I mean, besides my wife and I, we keep that relationship, and then it's the kids, man. Like, they're everything to us. So.
And I'll say this, man. I mean, as far as your training, because like you said, you're still training, right? You still go to the gym?
Man. I'm back. Yeah, I'm training every single day, man. Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, when it happened, I mean, you mentioned earlier, I mean, that's when you had met your girl, your wife now.
Yeah.
And like, how was it for her afterwards, man? I mean, obviously she hung out with you and she stayed with you.
Yeah.
I mean,
she man, my wife is she's my best friend, man. Like, she's put up with so much because it was I never got over that injury mentally in regards to being, like, feeling bad for myself, and I'll be first one to talk about that, man. Like, I felt bad for myself all the way up until, seriously, man, like, probably like 2018, 2019. I felt really like I was, and it was always like, man, I gave up everything to start the family and all that stuff, but like, I never closed that chapter.
Right.
And it was always, I worked and took care of the family and all that stuff, but she's always known that's like, that chapter's never been closed, and I put her through a lot. And we finally, like, closed that chapter, and I'll be open, man. Like, mental health's a big thing, so like, I did therapy, did all that stuff. That was one of the main issues that I was facing, right? So she's a trooper, man. Like, she stuck with me when I had $0 in my bank, or negative dollars in my bank after I got injured and didn't have anything going on, till where we are now. Like, we were able to take care of the family and provide all that stuff. Like, she has sacrificed everything to make this family work, man, and without her, like, it just wouldn't happen. So.
No, for sure, man. Yeah. I mean, and that's one of the things I always tell people, because I mean, I'm sure you've seen this, man. I mean, when people always joked around and they said, man, you can tell when somebody gets a girlfriend because they stop coming, right? They stop going to the gym, and of course, you start a relationship and you start spending time with them. But it takes a stronger woman to be able to put up with something like that, because obviously you're at the gym after work, and you know what I mean, like. But how are you able to juggle your time from home?
Yeah, so right now, my wife and I, we get up, we get the kids ready, about 6 o'clock in the morning. We're getting the kids ready for school, and I drop them off at school. They're there at 7:15 at school. My mom works at the school, so they go to the early care, and then I'm at Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I'm at boxing at 7:45 in the morning. I knock out my boxing, and then if I have to go out in the field or do whatever I need to do, go back home, work from home, I'm doing that. So my schedule every day is 7:45, 8 o'clock, like, that's my workout. And that's when I have I'm either doing weights with my trainer or I'm boxing. Yeah. And then, or I'm rolling with Rod, one or the other. And then I'll do Muay Thai in the evening, with just privates with my Muay Thai coach from back in the day.
Damn.
Yeah, so I'm doing that, man. Then I pick the kids up from school, or from tennis or whatnot. Then it's family time from like 5:30 till 7. And the kids are showered in bed at 7:30, and then it's husband and wife time, man. We spend time together, watch a movie, and that's every night. So that's the schedule, yeah.
And I mean, obviously, you have to be in control of this.
Yeah.
You got to make sure, like, hey, I'm going to be home at this time. I'm going to be at the gym at this time. And what does wife do, man? What are her hours like?
Yeah, so my wife, she works part-time at the school now, so she just started working there part-time at the school. So she's there Tuesday through Thursday. My 5-year-old goes to school 3 days a week at the school.
Oh, okay.
So she's there the hours that my daughter's at the school. Other than that, like the Monday and Fridays, man, like she's super involved. Like she's awesome, right? Like she's helps at the school with like teacher aid, or she does like she volunteered to do the bulletin boards for the kids.
Right.
So she's at the school every day basically. So that keeps her busy, man, and she works a full-time job with the kids and also with her life, man.
Never stops.
So she's pretty swamped, man. Like it's pretty hectic. If we don't have a schedule down, like it could get out of control.
No, I mean, and I can only imagine, man, because I mean, especially with both parents working, I mean, it's always difficult, but I mean, you got to make time. You know, you got to set up a schedule and be like, okay, you know what, I get off early this day, I'll pick them up and whatnot.
Yeah. I will say that, like, training, I was never really able to hold a girlfriend or anything because that's all that I did. That was my one shoot thing, man. So I always say this, if I didn't get injured, I wouldn't have the life that I had today, not only with what I'm doing, but I wouldn't have my family.
Right.
And at the end of the day, man, I would never give up my family to have a mixed martial arts.
No, for sure, man.
That changed everything.
You see, and I mean, you know, with that being said, man, I mean, of course, you wouldn't want to get injured. I mean, what you went through, I can only imagine was hell. But, you know, what happened, man.
It's the best, worst thing that could have ever happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Or worst, best thing that could have ever happened, rather.
Yeah, you see, and I mean, of course, I mean, being married now, I mean, you guys, you know, you're a family man. You got, you know, 2 beautiful kids. You know, you work. Of course, you're employed.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to in life? I mean, of course, you just got your black belt, but I mean, what is there another goal? Is there another step that you're like, you know what, I want to do this?
Yeah. So, you know, it's right now. I think it's working and preparing the. I want to get my kids through college. So I never. My wife did college. I didn't really do college, and it's just we don't come from money, neither of us.
Right.
So that's a goal where we want to have the kids financially set. So we're both grinding for that because I mean, man, like let's face it, like nowadays, there's great guys out there, but there's also a lot of guys that don't want to work. Like the workforce is so low, man. So like that's my biggest fear is like my girls are not going to find a guy that's going to work, and hopefully they look for someone that's like their dad or like you, like that's able to take care of them. But I feel like it's slim pickings right now.
No, you see, and that's just being real. No, yeah, because I'll say this, bro, because I've been delivering furniture, you know, for 6 years, man. I mean, I'm my own boss. I'm self-employed. But one of the things I've noticed is, like, I deliver furniture, and they're, you know, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, there's even 40-year-olds, bro, and they're like, oh, well, my mom paid for, you know, they tell me what's going on, and I'm like,
it's different, man.
Yeah, like, I mean, they're still working the parents, and I'm like, dude, your parents, you know, and the crazy thing about it is that the parents call me, they're like, hey, can you deliver this for my son? And I'm like, yeah, sure, tell them to call me. Oh, no, well, we're going to be there, we're going to accept it, we're going to, and when I get there, they're talking to me, and it's just more, like, they're like, oh, well, you know, he's having problems with his girlfriend, so we're doing this for him, and they're still taking care of their kids, man, and I don't know if it's because of how I'm pretty sure it has to do with me, the way I grew up, because growing up, like, you know, high school, my mom was like, hey, you want to close next year, you better get a job.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, crap, like, I guess I have to work, you know, because, I mean, it got to the point to where we have to make our own money, get our whatever we wanted, we have to buy, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
But,
it's dude, so, like, the way you grew up, I mean, you're a little bit older than I am, right? But we grew up similar generations in regards to how we were raised, right? Like, it was tough love.
Oh, yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, your parents had your back.
Oh, yeah.
Right? No matter what, but, like, now, like, your parents really have your back. And, like, they're really...
they're pampering you to where it's like... I mean, it's crazy, man, and it's definitely some crazy times. I know I ask people, and everybody's like, oh, what's the internet? You know, kids are now, everything's so, like, yes, no, you know. But the same thing with the workforce, man. I mean, I deliver for furniture stores, man, and the turnaround is so big, bro. Like, they'll hire kids, you know, 20-year-olds, and the things they tell me, it's just, like, they don't want to work. Or they tell them, like, hey, do a cart run. Oh, I didn't work. I'm not doing that. You told me I was this, and they don't want to do little things, and I'm, you know, I tell my kids, bro. The other day I was talking to my youngest, and I was telling her, and I said, look, man, I said, if you have a job, I said, it's not a career. I get it. I mean, but work. I mean, take care of it. I said, make sure it's something that you enjoy, at least for now. But I said, start saving your money. I said, don't just go from job to job. I said, because no matter what, if you're gonna work for somebody, chances are it's gonna suck.
Yes.
You know, you're gonna have to deal with stuff. You're gonna have to work around things. But I mean, that's what you get for working with. You know, you gotta work for somebody, man. I mean, you clock in. It's called work for a reason. You gotta go work. We were talking earlier about our kids, man. I mean, my youngest. For me, it took me to go to the post office and get employed by the post office to realize that, you know what, I had the freedom. I was a letter carrier, so I'd clock in. As soon as I was out, it was me, and that's it. But I liked it, man, because it was different. I'd meet different people. I was able to see different parts of town, you know, walk around. I mean, it was just, you know, it was good, man. I mean, I loved it. And, you know, my only regret was actually changing crafts and going to work at the plant, because I was like a prison. So that's pretty much what the reason I left was. It just got to the point to where it was like repetition.
Yeah.
It was boring. You know, I had to deal with people that weren't working, and it just. I mean, when I left, I was just like, you know what, man. I was happy with it. No regrets, man. I mean, I don't regret leaving it. It's just, if I would have known what I'm doing now, I could have done 10 years, you know, 20 years prior, man. I would have done it, bro.
Yeah, I'm in the same. Yeah, I think end goal for us is financially make sure that we have enough for the kids are set. But my wife and I talked about it, and my best friend and I have talked about it. I've talked with Rod as well. Like, I think we eventually want to branch an affiliate, but maybe derive it more of a straight MMA school with jiu-jitsu and weights and whatnot. Because my best friend's Ronald Ray, he's a black belt as well. Yeah. So he trains right across the street at Train Anytime. That's his gym. So that's my strength and conditioning gym, and he has. I mean, he has all the fighters. He has a bunch of professional athletes. So the thing for him would be to get his own spot with the cage and mats, and have Rod and Pete or whoever's going to be helping with the MMA thing. Like that's going to be the MMA gym. That's going to be the jiu-jitsu gym. Like, that's kind of what the end goal would want to be. Because you're right, man. Like, when you're working for someone, at the end of the day, you're just a number, man. Like, I've been through it.
Oh yeah.
I've given a corporation everything I had. I've relocated. And it's like one day to the next, like, you're out, no matter how
and they replace you with somebody else, and it's like
don't matter, yeah.
And I will say this, bro. Like, me working for the post office or working with anybody, everybody, I always got good comments. I always got like people were like, "Man, you're a hard worker," but you know, I was a workhorse. Like, you tell me, "Hey, push this rock as far as you can," I'd push it. Like, no questions asked. I would just give it 100%.
Yeah.
With the post office, I would always. I mean, these stations used to fight for me, man. I'd go to one station, and they'd be like, "Hey, man, so you need to go to Arsenal, or you need to go," and like literally, they would fight for me. Like, no, hey, come back here tomorrow. So I would go to one station, and then the postmaster would call, and hey, you need to send them to, you know, because I mean, the stations right now they're hurting, you know, still. But it was just. But it was a good feeling for me back then, because I knew I knew my worth. I knew that, you know what, man, no matter what. You know, no matter what I'm told to do, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give it my best shot, and more than likely, I'll do it, man. I'm not gonna go hide. You know, take a cigarette break for like 30 minutes and come back. It's just But when it came time to leave, for me, I was just like, you know what, man. If I'm gonna invest, I'm gonna invest in myself, because I know I'm my own best employee. I'm my own best. You know, I'm all I got, and I can depend on myself, man. I never called in. I never did post office. I was 5 years no call-ins. I had my sick leave for like freaking galore, man. My vacation time, I always took like 2 days off during the week, so I had like a 4-day weekend. It got to the point when I left, I cashed in. I was just like, man, I'm gonna use what I can, and the rest I'm gonna cash in and roll it over with my retirement. You know, I stayed on. I'm not a business savvy, but you know, I put money away, and I ended up paying a lot of stuff before I left. And like I said, you know, I don't regret anything. But I just regret I didn't do this years back, man. I mean, as far as like you said, I mean, hopefully, and I hope you're able to accomplish that, dude. I mean, you guys get an affiliate gym, of course. You know, you be your own bosses, and more than likely you'd be there 24/7.
Yeah, more than likely we'll be there 24/7, and just help Rod out too, man. Like he's there seriously, man, every single day. Every hour of the day, like, and then between those times of class, he's doing privates too. Like, he's so busy, man, and he's such a good guy. Like, that's the least we can do is take what he's taught us and pass it forward, man. So.
Oh yeah, you know, and that's the thing about it too, man. It's like I said earlier, the fact that they came here and they planted a seed, and now everything's growing. You know, I mean, I know affiliate schools. I mean, they're popping up left and right, and I mean, with good standing, because they're developing black belts like yourself, man. I mean, people that can carry the banner and keep going with it, you know. Now, we talked about jiu-jitsu, man. I mean, of course, when you started training, of course, Maha was here, Rodrigo was here. when I started back in 2000, you know, with Mike, I mean, that we had nothing. You know, it came to the point. I mean, this is when the internet was barely. You know, you would punch in MMA and nothing would pop up. You know, it was just freaking dry. But even then, man, I mean, I remember I had people that had plugs that were like, oh man, I can get those vale-tudo, I can get those backboards from Brazil. Yeah, you know, and I mean stuff like that, and then they would get them, and I'd be like, hell yeah, dude. And I went to the gym, and everybody's like, dude, where are you getting this stuff, man? But it was just. And now, of course, you get on, you know, Amazon and, you know, boom.
Yeah, you get them right to you, yeah.
Now, let me ask you, I mean, of course, you say BJ Penn, man. I mean, he's one of the guys you looked up to, man. If you could fight anybody in the world, bro, who would it be and why?
I think Dominic Cruz.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'd love to fight Dominic Cruz. Well, I mean, yeah, Dominic Cruz would be a fun fight. I think he's, you know, the reason why he's just... he's so good at what he does, man. Like his footwork, his head move, everything. He's just so good, man. Especially when he was in his prime. Like I think he's the best 35er of all time. So I think, and I think it'd be a good fight. I think we'd be.
It might happen, bro.
Yeah, it'd make it happen. Hopefully he loses a few times. I catch him in fury.
I know. After his little downfall, he might be my Bellator, man.
Yeah, Bellator. Yeah, but no, Dominic Cruz would be fun, man. That'd be a fun fight.
And now let me ask you, because I mean, even now, I mean, of course, we have MMA, we have bare knuckle boxing, bare knuckle freaking MMA. You know, Game Bred, you know, fighting championship.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of platforms out there, man. Is there one, like, say, you know, if the time comes and you're like, you know what, I want to compete. I mean, would you want to compete, like in boxing, kickboxing?
Yeah. So we were kind of talking to Bare Knuckle FC a little bit. I think that'd be pretty cool to do bare knuckle boxing. The Triller is super cool.
Yes, bro.
You can clinch.
Dirty boxing.
Dirty boxing. So you could use some wrestling there too.
Yeah.
But I mean, ultimately, I think Bellator or the UFC would be ideal. You know, to get into. But yeah, man, it's just there's so many opportunities. I know Eagle FC would be awesome too.
No, yeah.
So
they're popping up
with Habib out there, that'd be a bunch of tough fights, man. But that'd be
be fighting all the Russians, bro.
all the Dagestani Russians, but that'd be cool, man. Yeah.
And then that's what I always ask, man. Because even now, I mean, there's a lot of there's amateur fighters I mean coming up right now. But I always tell them, I say, you know what? If you have an in between and you got 2-3 months, I mean, why would you want to do a boxing fight or do?
I would box too. I mean, I would do whatever we could. It just I mean, whatever. You know the sport, right? Whatever presents itself, right? So, yeah, and that's the thing. Like back in the day, I was always ready, but dude, I had so many fights fall through. Like, I mean, dude, it wasn't the way it was like today. Yeah. Like it was.
Yeah, maybe like five people in your roster, your weight class, and
there was no 25ers really, right?
Yeah, bro.
It was like a text. It was not even a text. It was like a phone call or an email, and then it was like, yeah, I'll do it. It never got responded, and then like your opponent's hitting you on MySpace, like, hey, are we fighting next week? It's like, I don't know. I never got called, and it never happened.
Yeah, you see, and that's one thing too, man. Because even before that, like I talked to Nick. Well, even like Chris Pratt, he was there during that time that before closed fist. You know, before Texas allowed closed fist or 4-ounce gloves.
Sure.
And I mean, they were fighting open hand. And back then, it's like these guys were fighting each other, man, because there was only a small pool. You know, so they were like, well, I already fought. I'll fight this guy now. And it's just, I mean, now it's like everybody wants to fight, which is good. I mean, it opens a lot of windows for opportunity. But it's a good time, man. It's actually, and I always, you know, people that are coming in right now for shows, man, I always tell them it's good. It's a good feeling because the buzz is coming back. Mm-hmm. And I mean, new gyms popping up, you know, of course, with a lot of credentials, and I mean, you guys and me, of course, still in the sport.
Yeah.
And it's I'm waiting for that buzz to hit San Antonio. I mean, I know Austin, you know, you got that B team out there, and you got people with big names, you know, and it's just. But San Antonio's been big, man. It's just I'm just waiting for that little click for it to be like, oh crap, you know what? We got freaking legitimate people here training and fighting out of San Antonio, man. But
we have a bunch of scrappers here too, man. And that's the thing that's like we don't have the spotlight on us like Austin, as you mentioned, with all the big names. But dude, we got a lot of tough people in San Antonio.
Yeah. No, yeah.
A lot of tough dudes.
And that's what I'm waiting for, because obviously, I mean, we've had a couple. I mean, we have, you know, CJ Vergara, man, of course.
CJ, man, we've been working a lot together. Lately, this whole camp we worked together.
Yeah.
Just him and I. So because at Rods we have. I mean, dude, everyone's so good at Rods, right? Like everyone's competing in world champs, all that stuff, and then MMA too. Like there's not a 25er or 35er really that's has really high level ground that will work with CJ. So we worked probably like 6 weeks together right before this last fight.
Damn.
And you know, we worked a lot, and I'm so proud of CJ, man. Like we came up together a little bit, and he did it, man. Like he made it, and I'm so excited for him, man. Like I just hope he. I'm excited for his next fight, man, because I know that we're gonna get out there and he's gonna do it, man. So.
No, yeah, you see, and I always tell people, man. I mean, for me, he should have been in there maybe earlier. I mean, of course, I know he had a few bumps on the road himself, you know, where he had to kind of step away from the game. But I mean, the guy's been training, you know, for years, man. I mean, he's a prospect of Peace Pride within himself. I mean, he's made an name for himself.
He's the man too, man. Yeah, CJ and I fought on the same card twice. Well, both times actually, and then obviously I got hurt, but he's been at the gym, you know, training with Pete and getting better. His striking's so good, man. His striking's ridiculous. Clean, dude. Yeah, so good, man. So. And
I like the fact. I mean, obviously him and Pete been training forever. It's like in sequence. Yeah. Because when Pete, like when he's coaching, and I've been there when he's coaching the guy, you know, or coaching his fighters, and they got that good communication. Yeah. You know, and that's one of the things, man. And I mean, of course, Pete's Pride. I mean, his striking's freaking legit. As legit as they come. Sure. Man. Now, as far as fighting, man, like you said, it might happen. Yeah. You know, I mean, for now, you're just going to be fighting traffic, right?
Yeah. Right now, I'm going to be fighting that 281 traffic. Yeah. No, I think. We'll see, man, because, like, you know, I'm also in a situation where, I mean, I have a wife and kid, as you know, so it's not going to be financial. It's not going to be, like, I have to fight financially for it, so I'm not at that point anymore. So it's kind of like, I don't want to spend a lot of time fighting, like, on the circuit, and I know that that's almost impossible. Like, you got to get a break. Like, that one dude that fought, like, TJ Dillashaw, that was, like, fighting UFC, like, you got to have some kind of break. I'm realistic with that. But, ideally, I mean, 3 fights in a year and try to get into something would be cool, or get on the Ultimate Fighter or something like that. I'd be interested in that, man. But right now, I'm just still trying to get in shape and see what happens, dude. I mean, I'm only getting older, so. Oh,
yeah, we all are. I'm only getting older, yeah. And I will say this, man, because you talk about fighting financially. I mean, back when, I mean, I would talk to fighters, bro, and they would tell me in their contracts or their payouts, and they made little money, man. I mean,
it was 1,000 and 1,000. Yeah, and it was like, to me back then, I was like, holy crap, like that's.
I'm gonna buy a house.
Yeah, it's not money, right? Yeah. So it's even now, like the pay now is like the pay now is tough. Yeah, you know, so it's gonna be a full on passion thing, and it just. And I talked to my coaches too, and I need to run it by Rod, but that's my main guy. But like with Ray's, it's kind of it maybe wants to close the chapter, because I mean, like, dude, we never really stopped training. I got injured right before I was about to hit, you know, and right now I feel better than I ever did, like technique wise, kickboxing, my stand up feels really good, but it just be. Got to talk to a lot of people, make sure.
No, for sure, man. Yeah. And the fact that it wouldn't be about money, I mean, that's the thing too. That's why I off of it, right?
Yeah, that's why I think that's kind of weird too. Like, that's how I know that I really love what I do. Like, that I love doing this, because it's. I mean, like, I was in camp with CJ. Like, we're doing these cardio circuits and stuff, and I went through the whole thing, and I went through the 6 month. Like, I haven't missed. Last week was my first week of taking off in like 6 months, 7 months almost, and. So they asked me, like, why are you doing this? Like, I just love. I have to feel like I'm beating myself up every day, breaking myself down, because that's what keeps me grinding. Like, I notice when I'm not working out, I'm not the same person that I typically am, you know? So, yeah.
You see, and that's one of the things, because even fighters now, like, I'll talk to these youngsters, man, and they're talking about, like, oh, man, I'm going to go pro so I can start getting paid, and I'm like, you know, I kind of give them that look, like, man, it's not even about that, man. Like, if you're trying to get rich off of it, it ain't gonna happen, bro. Like you said, you gotta have something that they're gonna want, that they're gonna pay you for. But other than that, I mean, it's just it's tough, man. Because
I mean, it's like 8 and 8. I think 8's a show in UFC, 8 to win in your first few fights, your first contract. I mean, you take away 30% of taxes, bro. Like, and you gotta make that last for your next fight. I mean, you're wanting to get $2,500 maybe, you know, I guess if that's if you lose.
No,
I guess, like, okay, I don't know if that's tough, dude.
Yeah, no, yeah, you see, and even then, because I know guys that have paid for like $150. I know, and this is after they lost the fight, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just you know, and I know 2 guys. I mean, I won't drop their names, but I mean that they're like, man, I didn't even catch those checks, man. They're still there, like just I didn't make nothing. I just left them there. It's just. But they did it because they wanted to fight.
Yeah. That it would have to be all. It would be all an all passion kind of thing. Like I just want to do this. I need to close this chapter and go from there. But yeah, that's kind of the boat I'm in, man. It's up in the air, but we'll see.
No, man. Well, even if that doesn't happen, man, I mean, I'd be looking forward to like your other ventures, like you said, man. I mean, opening up your own place and helping out, and helping CJ and helping all these guys. I mean, obviously you're staying involved. I mean, I've always been a fan of you guys, man. I mean, I respect you guys for everything that you've done, like with the sport and for it. I know I've seen you compete in grappling. I never got to see you fight. I've seen videos, I've seen photos, but I've never been been able to see that. So if I were to see that, man, that'd be cool, man. I would definitely look forward to that, man. But I thank you, bro. Thank you for stopping by today. I mean, I know I dragged you out of your training.
You're good.
But I appreciate stopping by and. Hopefully do it again, man.
Yeah, dude, man. You're the OG of Texas, man. No. So thank you. Anything you ever need, you've always been supportive, man. We need more people like you in the sport. So just thank you for everything, man.
No, for sure, man. And I appreciate that. And like I said, I mean, I couldn't have been here without you guys because obviously I wouldn't be talking to the wall. I wouldn't have anybody to communicate with. But I will say this, man. I mean, I'm gonna be. I am local to San Antonio, of course, man. I mean, I've been inviting everybody, and for those that have been stopping by, man, by all means, I appreciate y'all's time. With that being said, man, if you ever want to stop by again, we'll run through something or talk about somebody.
For sure, man. No, thanks for reaching out, man. It was an honor to be here with you.
No, for sure, man. Hey, everybody out there, Richie Hernandez, bro. Thank you. Everybody out there, this is sPidA here, the Fight Card Podcast in San Antonio, and as always, till next time, follow up.
Good?
Yes, sir.
Oh, shit.
Just make sure I click off.